Everybody, I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right, y'all. This one is called The Birth of a Creation. Yes, it was the birth of creation. Look, this was back in 2013. So in 2013, I was working on cars, Actually, I was starting a little business. It was called the Rolling Rescue, where we would go to you and fix your vehicles. And I had three guys with me, and I would do the north side of town. One would do the south side of town, and one would do the east side of town. And we all were making a lot of money. We was making a pretty penny. And so one day, I the workload got real heavy on me because I had a lot of cars to do. Then I still had a 9 to 5 job. Okay, so I had a 9 to 5 job. I was working at the library, so I had to hurry up. Once I worked on the car, I had to get home, shower real quick, and everything, get myself cleaned up, and then go to the library. And it was getting hectic. So one day, one of the guys, he wouldn't show up to work. He wouldn't show up. So I ended up having to do the south side too. So I had to get people on the south side, fix their cars, then come back on the north side and fix their car. But it was getting real hectic. So one day I was out working on a Jaguar, okay? And if you know anything about cars, it's extremely hard to work on a Jaguar or on a Mercedes or something like that. So I had to put a starter on the Jaguar. So I got the starter on, and then I end up having to put headlights in. So in order to put the headlights in, you had to take the bumper assembly completely off. And unfortunately, at this time, I had just got off work, so I was just getting off, and it was in the winter time. It was like in uh probably October sometime, October, November. So I was working on this car, and then I started feeling sick, but I was determined to finish this car. So after so long, then all of a sudden I was under the car, laying under the car, and it was dark outside. I was laying under the car, and then something told me,
Stop.
so I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't pay attention to it. Then it said it again.
Stop.
So this time I was paying a little more attention. Then it said it again.
Stop. Stop right now.
So I stopped. I stopped. I sat up and I said to myself, this must be a sign of something or something. So I threw the tools, I threw the wrench down, and I got from up under the car, and I started putting my tools up. And then I got up, and then the lady came out that I was working on her car, and she said, "Are you finished?" I said, "Yes, I'm finished with the starter, but you're going to have to take it to a shop to get your headlights put in there." She said, "What's wrong? What's the matter? You okay?" And I said, "Well, yes and no. Yes and no." She said, "Oh, what's wrong?" I said, "Nothing. I just quit. I'm not going to do cars anymore. I'm not going to work on cars anymore." She said, "Oh, well, let me pay you. Let me pay you." I said, "No, keep the money. Keep the money." And I jumped in a car and drove off. I drove home. And when I got home, I ended up having the flu. So ended up sick for like 2 days, So I had to call off work, and I was laying there and laying there thinking, what am I going to do now? If I quit working on cars, where am I going to get this extra income to have extra money? So I said I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. So finally, 2 days later, when I start feeling a little better, I went to work. I went to the library, and I got to the library, and everybody asked me, "Are you okay? You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm no longer working on cars." And everybody was like, "Why? Why not? Why not?" I said, "Look, I just don't want to work. I didn't want to tell them that something told me to stop. Okay, something told me to stop. But I just was telling them I'm just not working on cars no more. It's becoming too much. So they said, "Oh, all right then, all right." So I said, I'm gonna have to find something else to do. Something else to do. So I was in the back. At first I balled up some clear clear tape. It was like clear. And I tried to make something, and nobody didn't pay attention to me. But then I tore some masking tape off of a box, and it was a lot of it. A lot of it. So I molded this into a little duck. Yeah, I molded it into a little duck, you know. And then I showed everybody this. I said, "Look, you guys," and everybody laughed at it, laughed at it. But this one librarian took an interest to it. She said, "Oh, let me see that," and I showed it to her. She said, "Oh, this is kind of unique. Can I have it?" I said, "Sure, sure, you can have it." So then I walked off. I walked off. Then when I came back past, she said, "Can you paint this?" I said, "No." I said, I'll paint you something on a canvas." She said, "No, I want you to paint this." So I said, I reluctantly said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll paint it. I'll paint it." So I went back to the back and got some acrylic paint, and I painted this little duck, and it started looking real. It started looking real. So I gave it to her. She stuck it on her computer, on the top of her computer. And the next day when I came back to work, people, she told me, "Look, everybody was asking me, can you make them something?" So people kept coming to me saying, "Rick, could you make us something? Could you make something for me? What else can you make? What else can you make?" I said, "I guess anything. I guess anything. But I didn't know at the time that I had a photographic memory, that I could look at something, a certain animal or thing, and I can recreate it without looking at a model. So after that, I think I made a frog or something like that, and that was out there. Then all of a sudden, I started making it, and then that librarian came. Same librarian came to me again. She said, "You see there? Didn't I tell you? You can. I told you you can make something like that. Look, what you gonna call this? What is this called? What is this called?" And I said, "Oh, I guess my masking tape treasures. My masking tape treasures." And that was the birth of maskingtapetreasures.com. Okay. Once I got that name, then I ended up starting to do this more and more. So then I ended up going to the uh, uh, arts and crafts store. It was called Michael's. I went to Michael's craft store, and while I was in there, I was looking for acrylic paint and stuff like that, and I was looking for masking tape too. So I was walking around in there, and this lady said, "What you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for acrylic paint." She said, "Oh, it's over in that aisle right there, right there." And I said, "Okay, thank you." And she said, what you make? What you making? I was ashamed to tell her what I make, but I told her again. I said, "Look, I okay. I make stuff out of masking tape, and I paint it. She said, "Oh, masking tape. That's unique. That's unique. Can I see? You got any pictures of any?" So I said, "Well, yeah." And I showed her some on my phone. Showed it to her, and she said, "Oh my goodness, this is unique. Can you make me a few pieces?" I said, "What? Yeah, I guess I can. I guess I can." She said, "Yeah, yeah, because I want to put them in the art show. I'm the assistant director of the DeSoto Art Foundation, you know." And then I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, yes. This would be unique because nobody does this right here." When she said that to me, it stuck in my brain that nobody does this. But I didn't know. I figured because art, it's art. I figured somebody else have done something with masking tape before. Maybe I inadvertently seen it and then started doing it. So once she said that, I went home and I made 7 pieces. I made a giraffe, an elephant, and everything else. So and then I sent it to her because Hernando de Soto was a little far from here, but I sent it to her, and then I was gonna show up at the art thing, the showing. So once I once it was time for the showing, I went down there and I drove down there, and well, it really wasn't that far. It was about an hour drive, maybe an hour drive, but when I got there to the art foundation, I walked in and then I was looking for my stuff. I saw a lot of big tables out there, and she said, "My stuff, people were all around it." And I said, "Where's my stuff?" She said, "It's over there, over there, over there. Go over there, go, 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 go." And I walked over there, and there was this big table, a round table, and it had a silk black tablecloth on it, and lights were cascading down, was shining down on it. And I said, "Oh my goodness, my stuff looked excellent. It looked way better than when I made it." So everybody said, "Oh, are you the artist? Are you the artist?" Yes. I said, "Yes, yes, I make this stuff." He said, "What's it made out of? Is this paper mache or what?" I said, "No, it's masking tape." They said, "What? Masking tape? I I never heard of this. I never heard of this." And all those artists, all those people that liked art was talking about my creations. So I was standing there and I was talking to everybody, telling them about how do I make him stand up and everything like that. And then they said I had made a zebra, and they said, "Well, you got to. What kind of skeletal system do you put in there? You got to have some kind of type of skeleton." And then I took a little saw. I had a little saw this big, and I took it out. I said, "Look." They said, "No, don't cut it." And I cut it and opened it up, and they saw inside, and it was nothing inside. It was purely masking tape, you know. Then I put it back together, and I put masking tape back around it to be painted, to paint over. But I didn't have no paint, but I just was showing them how 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 I made the stuff. And they were, "Oh, yeah, yeah." Everybody was clapping, and then you know I walked off for that from those 7 pieces. I got $500 for it. So I was shocked. I was shocked. I looked at the check. I said, "What? $500?" And then they offered to sell my stuff out of their gift shop. So they said, "Look, let us sell your pieces out of the gift shop." And all we will take from you is like 15%. They took 15% of what I got paid for, but that was good. That was a start. So all I did was I would make 10 pieces and I would send it to them. And then they would send me a check back. So then I got busy online looking for mask and tape art, mask and tape sculptures. And there was nobody that does it. So I figured I'd take it for my own. So I got a ESI number. I think it's ESI or ESN, but I got an ESI number for it. And then I tried to get a pending patent, which I got pending patent for it. So then it was mine then. It was mine then after that. So after that, kept selling them out of their gift shop, until finally I start figuring. I said, hey, I can sell it on my own. So I created a website, and that website is called maskandtapetreasures.com. Okay, maskandtapetreasures.com, and I created that maskandtapetreasures.com, and then that was it. Then ever since then, I've been creating and selling pieces. So I've made everything under the sun. I've even made some 6 feet things. Made a dinosaur and made a 6 feet. I made a man. I made a lady. I made the baby. I made everything. Everything. Any animal that you can name, I've created it. So I'm telling you, man, it's fascinating of the things that you can come up with if you put your mind to it. Something as simple as masking tape turned into a treasure. All right, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share my videos with your friends. Share my videos with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Adios. Salamat. I've got to go to sleep. I am tired. I just got off.
Salamat! Get some sleep.